Welcome to Dahlia Dialogues, a random impromptu idea that pops into our head, and I think we have my friend, the owner of Bloom Patch Farms here, and why not just take a moment outside of all the other things that are going on here at Three Monkeys Nursery and Flower Farm, and also kind of just highlight and talk and share stuff.
That sounds cool. So I'm Amanda. I go by Summer Tracy for Bloom Patch Farms, and I'm just here visiting Abby. It's been a good, fun past few days, getting to know her and her family, watching the working farm, meeting her staff, and seeing how things are going. She's got a lot of things lined up. So she's got the Fox Farm soil study, a lot of things she's very big picture thinking about. She's raising her children, and so we always have that coming. Come on, Piper. Here. Here's little Piper. You say hi.
Yeah, she's the real hurricane. Yeah, the Rose needs a drink.
I don't see a drink. She's another one.
Yep, there she goes. That's my life. So yeah, I think we were talking about dahlias, and what interests me so much, because I've been growing dahlias and I've been growing roses for a really, really long time. I started getting really into gardening when I was 19. And that was a while ago. So when I look back and I think about the things that I found passion for, I like to grow pretty things. I like to watch them grow from small to big. I want to watch the blooms. I love sharing the blooms because that's probably like the best part, is seeing the joy in other people. If you lived around me or you were like the gas station down the street, you're probably used to me walking in with a handful of blooms and giving them to you randomly. But I find that there's something special about dahlias. Like, dahlias are so different from roses, not because of the thorns, but more so because I think roses are something that are like so beautiful, and I do love them, but I can't sit there and I can't propagate them. I can't breed off of them. I mean, I could, but it's a big dollar business, and it's a big investment. It's a lot of years of time to even build it out, and it's just not something that I really plan on doing from a business standpoint. Whereas dahlias are kind of this magical flower that allow you to, small or big, like have a dream. And you know, you have soil, you have a seed, have soil, have a tuber, have a grow bag, have a spot in your garden. No matter what it is, you can grow it. And I think that we watch as there's all of these different breeders that come up, and then we'll establish farms, and in the end, you're a little bit muddy. That's pretty normal here. You need to go get water? Okay, you know where the water is. Okay, go wash your feet. You got it.
Go.
But I think one of the cool things is seeing a lot of these.
Give me a try.
Seeing a lot of these up and coming people who are growing and sharing.
What's that in what
Really?
I want?
This is my life. Yeah, for the record, I do 90% of my dahlia purchases locked in a bathroom.
Yep.
Some of my best ones in Dahlia Wars are locked in a bathroom.
Can you give me a try?
Can I give you a try?
Can you give me a try
I'll try.
and water?
Yeah, you've got to go wipe your feet. Just go use a towel. That's how it works.
You got it.
But so no, we were talking about dahlias. We were talking about a lot of the things that are really beautiful about them, and then also just reflecting on a lot of the stuff that's been going on, and you know, I know that it's a competitive industry, and I know that we all have differences of opinions, differences of beliefs, differences of like what we do, what size we are, all of those things. But I think the one thing that I hear across the board as I get to meet any Dahlia person is just the magic of their stories and the rejuvenation after going through horrible things, and how it gave them back their life, or it gave them back hope. And I mean, I'm living proof of that, because every single day I wake up and I am happy. And if you asked me that many, many years ago, I don't know if I would have said the same thing. But I just think it's really beautiful. And I think there's so much to be grateful for, and how blessed we are to have these flowers and to have this community. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that I was going to have Summer Tracy, my friend Amanda, show up and hang out with me and want to help me and want to be a part of it and ask questions, or even consent to being on videos with me, knowing that I probably will never edit this. And
I think it's good.
Yeah.
I think it's good. We've had a good time visiting and working in the garden, and we had another grower show up, I think a breeder, yesterday.
oh yeah, we have to show them because
They're so pretty. I keep looking over here at these flowers.
Look at this deep, deep purple in all of the petals. Siobhan, seriously, amazing. We
So,
love it.
It's nice to have blooms and, you know, see all the cool things that you can do, and, you know, just potting plants up, and then, you know, realizing like, wow, they're going to be these huge monsters in like just a couple weeks, you know, and be wrangling them with these, you know, twines and sticks and all that, and then, you know,
It never stops. And you know, I think one of the things you were saying earlier was how amazing it was that you can grow year round.
year round. Once you do it, you got it.
So, I mean, I just think no matter what's going on in our community, no matter what's going on in the world, if you take a step outside and you check out your garden, or you go visit another person's garden, or you go to any community garden, you may find like-minded people, or you may find different people, but people who share an interest to you, and maybe that fosters a connection.
And I think that's really important, is remembering why it is we're all connected, why we've been brought together, and we don't all agree on the same things. I mean, Abby may do something a certain way, but remembering to be just present in your growth mindset, like that's why we're here. And if you're showing up that way every day, you're only going to get better at doing it. And things are only going to get better because you're taking in the information, you're applying it, and you're asking the questions. But you have to be open, you have to be willing to do that. You know, we're not all from the same place, we all don't come from the same families, but you know, realizing the values that everyone carries, you know, that's kind of what makes it work, because I have to lean into what Abby's got and what she comes from, because that helps me with some things I'm lacking. So I really like doing the best I can to be strengths-based, and putting that first when it comes to who I'm connecting with, who I have around me, where am I going, like what do I want to do. And so I think that's what makes the Dahlia community really, really cool. I was not about to visit.
I'm ready.
I know, and it's almost
Sweetie.
time for me to leave. Yeah, so Piper calls me sweetie. I don't know if my
I'm
kids
not
would
letting her
agree.
live it down.
Mommy,
But if anything, I do have flowers, me. Yeah. I would say if there's anything to walk away with, just remember dahlias are magical, community is important, and that loving everybody is significant, that we have to be kind. And that's all we can do, because in the end, I think being kind has led to more opportunities, more connections, more happiness. And quite honestly, I think my plants do well because I touch them with kind hands, and I touch them with an open heart, and I do it in a happy place. So
I think that's important. You were even talking about like how you sort of center your worker, like before he comes and enters your garden, and just having him prepared, like, because it is important to be in a good space to be able to do that, because we do share, I don't want to say power, but we all bring to the table, or we bring into the space, and we're responsible for what we bring into the space. So as a Dahlia community, what you're doing in the ongoing dialogues, on scene, off scene, on off pages, you're providing a level of feedback into what's going on, and also what's appropriate, because we all kind of set the norm, right? We regulate each other. So if we don't hold each other accountable for certain things, then we're obviously saying it's okay. And I think it's important to set a certain degree of accountability on what's allowed, because we've seen a lot of like off the wall things, right? Especially if you're like selling, or you know what I mean, trying to trade with somebody, something they like or they want. I think
it's time to just be genuine. Just be genuine in your actions, be genuine in your intentionality. And, you know, we can all be competing, or we can all be winning.
so true.
And I am of the mindset that we are in a big enough market and a big enough industry with enough people who love dahlias that there's no reason that any one of us should not feel like we have an opportunity here. But most importantly, I would say that no matter what's going on, whether this is your business, whether you grow it for hobbies, whether you're communicating with your dahlia friends because you found connections with it, it's important that we keep ourselves committed to being a community that's kind, that's loving, that's accepting, and that is non-judgmental. Because the second that we start allowing for those vibes to get into our mix and get into our community and get into what we do and what we're growing, I think we're going to find that we're hindering new people, new flowers from coming out, from being seen, from being shared. And I want to keep seeing people's beautiful creations coming to life and blooming and growing in new spaces. And, you know, you have to feel comfortable to do that. So all I can say is, you know.
And I think it's important for everyone to feel like they can feel comfortable. I'll say I did not feel comfortable like 2 years ago. I didn't know what I was doing, but one person just communicating with you and helping you, and then that turns into 2, and then 3, and then 10, and then 20, you feel connection, right?
Yeah.
And there's safety in that, and you know, I just want that for everybody.
Yeah. No, I recognize that. And you know, it's a build each other up. I mean, I think I came out of the womb with an insurmountable amount of confidence. And I've always just been fearless of judgment. But I do recognize as I meet people how significant it is, like the impact of what we say on social media, the impact of what's going on, the impact of feedback, the impact of like the ADS stipulations for classifying a flower. Like there's so many people that are really impacted by it. And you know, no matter what you're doing something beautiful. And no matter who you are, we're all just created and magical and cool. So I don't think that there's any reason to not just love everybody.